Hi, Andrew from SACS, and welcome to video number 2 in our 12 video sequence on neurodiversity. And in this video we're addressing the question of where does neurodiversity come from. We'll be proposing a biopsychosocial model, which is really that the bio component is biological, genetic, partially. There's a psychosocial component which is to do with interactions with other people and its effect on the person's neurological makeup. Now in this diagram you'll see that we talk about nature, luck and nurture. And the nature component, you see we're including psychological characteristics here like intelligence or cognitive ability. We're including things like personality. And in fact, if you look at the causation of the neurodiversity that we have in the world, the vast majority of it is in fact genetic. It's rare, for instance, to get ADHD in a child who doesn't have ADHD somewhere in their forebears. But in addition to that, you'll see that this category here says luck. And what do we mean by that? Well, in fact, when genes are forming, they don't form perfectly. So what will normally happen is that if you have two identical twins, one has a certain neurodiversity, the other one is much more likely to have that neurodiversity, but it doesn't always happen. And that's because genes don't form perfectly. And sometimes a person can or cannot have a certain characteristic purely and simply by chance. So the third category is nurture. And we do know that things like early childhood trauma can make the limitations of some forms of neurodiversity more extreme. We also know, for instance, with things like autism spectrum disorder, that if a child gets early intervention as early as possible and as intensely as possible, what that does is that it maximizes the probability that they won't have the limitations that sometimes attend on those kinds of neurodiversity. The very next video in this sequence will be about the characteristics and prevalence of key neurodivergency groups. If you find this content helpful, then like and subscribe.